Yeah, so things are coming together really, really well and kind of fast. And then I also DJ on a cruise ship, so that's constant money.
What's that like? I mean, is that as great as it sounds, or
At times, yes. It's all about what you put into it because each cruise is different because you have a different set of people. So you may be used to doing this style, and then you get a different crowd, and you got to adjust yourself. So it's a lot of work because we work 7 days a week nonstop, and it's a lot of work, especially for a DJ if you're the only DJ on the ship. Because now, if you're doing a long cruise, after 7 days, 6, 7 days, with the way that people are programming themselves, with the way they listen to music, they want to hear the same thing over and over again. So it begins to get repetitive. So you have to find ways to energize or do something different or bring something that they haven't seen or something. So it's almost like when you're DJing on a cruise ship, it's amazing, don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But it's almost like you're acting at the same time. And it took me a while to get that because at first I'm like, oh, what is wrong with these people? And they're like, you just do your routine. I'm like, that's not how I'm used to DJing. And they're like, just do what you do and just change it up. And I had to learn. Once I learned how a cruise operates and how everything operates, how different people are, you get in a flow and how to do things. There's going to be certain stuff you're going to play over and over again. But the hardest thing with being at sea is getting new music. So when you do get it, you get abundance of it because you'll wait a month or two and you're okay. I need to sit down. The good thing about like overseas is there's internet cafes. When you get to the U.S. ports, you don't have internet cafes. Like you'll go to an internet cafe, pay $5 for all day. You can sit there and download. So, but it's amazing.
What are some of the destinations you've pulled in?
I just came back from Australia. I did all of Australia, all of New Zealand. We did Fiji, Bora Bora, Tahiti, Alaska, some of Canada, Hawaii, some other islands I never heard of that were some of the most beautiful places I've ever seen. I've been to Bermuda, St. Lucia, some of the Caribbean, St. Martin. Where else? I done the east side of Canada, Quebec and Prince Edward Island and things like that. I mean, it's an amazing feeling waking up every day in a different country. I mean, working on a ship, and people get so scared to get on a ship. So scared.
Do they?
Oh my God! There's so many people. Oh, I ain't getting on no ship.
What are they afraid of? Sinking?
They think of Titanic. They watch too much TV. So it's so safe. People don't understand how safe it is. And there's a study. They say that 90% of Americans don't even own a passport and will never leave the country. And I tell you what, if they would leave the country, things in this country would change.
See that perspective.
Yeah. When I came back after my first contract, I seen everything totally different.
What specifically? What was that?
Just how the world operates, the things that we complain about. I mean, the ship I just came off of there was 47 different nationalities on the ship for a crew. So you learn all these different cultures, all these different, how they grew up, how things are in their country. And you learn some of the money that they're making. And you and I would look at it and go, I would work for that. Not as hard as you're working. But in their country, it's big money. So needless to say, I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm going to say it anyway, entertainers are treated a lot better because a lot of the cruise ships are about, I wouldn't say they're about it, but the big thing that keeps the cruise ship going and keeps the cruise company on top is the ratings. So if the food's not very good, they're going to complain about it. If the ports aren't very good, they're going to complain about it. If the entertainment's not very good, they're going to write about it and complain about it. Like, it's amazing.
But you meet all those people from all those backgrounds. I mean, it sounds cliche, but you see it we're all one. We're all in this together.
Yeah, exactly.
All that stuff we're worrying about.
Exactly.
We meet people from everywhere.
I mean, I come home and I just look at things completely different, and it makes you think about stuff. It's like, oh, I want this. Do you really need it? Think about, it's like when I have a bad day. I used to have bad days to where it would kind of mess me up a little bit and I would get down. But I came to a point to look at it like there's always somebody out there having it worse off than I am. Mm-hmm. So suck it up. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's pretty much what it is. But these other countries, I mean, just going to some of these other countries and seeing some of the stuff, it's like, wow. And the amazing thing on the ship is some of the most talented people aren't the entertainers. It's the other crew members. It will blow your mind, some of these people, but they can't get in a position to put themselves to where they can take that next step because of either their life back home or their family or their money situation or whatever. I've seen some singers, they will blow some people away from other countries. They will blow some of the cast away that were on the ship. And it was just like, wow.
What's your scene there? Do they kind of recreate a club atmosphere on the ship? What do you get into?
Each ship is different. My first ship that I was on, we didn't have a nightclub. We had a big venue. The band would play, and I would follow the band. So at midnight, I would start, and I'd go till 2, 3 in the morning or whatever, depending on what the crowd was. On the ship I just came off of was a much bigger ship. So that class of ship has a nightclub. So I had my own, it was like my own office, it was my own place. It was at a nightclub. I was there almost every night, but I also did stuff in like the Grand Foyer, in the other lounges. They would put me in different places because at one point there was 4 of us. There was 4 DJs. So they were able to really move us around, and it's fun. I mean, it's hard work. Don't get me wrong, but it is a blast. And we party like there's no tomorrow every single night.
That's pretty good.
And that's the thing, like downstairs up under the deck, a lot of guests don't know, but we have our own nightclub. We have our own bar. We have our own restaurant.
The employees do?
Oh, yeah. It's a whole nother city because there's only certain crew members are allowed upstairs, what they call deck privileges. And certain ones aren't. So they never come upstairs because they're not supposed to be, because it's not their area, this and that. So they have to have something to keep you sane because it's no matter what position you're in, it's very stressful. It's very hard. But you have to look at the bigger picture. These beautiful ports you're going to, all these places, you're traveling the world, you're getting paid. I love people. So meeting all these people from different countries and not only just the people I work with, but the guests and hearing people's stories and being able to tell mine and just, I have friends all over the world now and I love it. I can vacation anywhere I want.
When you get to a port, do you get to go out and see, or is that your downtime and you let the passengers get
Well, basically what happens is on a port day, you will have, sometimes you have duties. As a DJ, most of the time I don't. Most of the time, the whole time we're in port, I'm free to do whatever. So when we have long ports, I love it because I'm off all day. So it depends on your position and what you do and how your schedule is, because the schedule can change. Some people work at night, some people work during the day. So it depends on your schedule. Mm-hmm. And with me working till 2 or 3 in the morning, they usually don't schedule me till the evening anyway. So usually I'm off during the day. So so you go out in port, generally you go out with your bartenders or whoever you work closely with, and you guys go out and have a good time in port. And I mean, it's fun.
Do you sleep at all? If you're out all day and you're working till late in the morning.
Sometimes. I mean, it gets to the point where your body gets used to not sleeping. Like it got to the point where if I slept more than 6 hours, I would feel sick because my body was so used to, because the international law, they only have to give you 6 hours, but they give us more. They treat us good. Yeah. But by law, they only have to give us so much time. And basically, if you're in a situation where you have to choose between eating and sleeping, you're going to sleep. You'll eat later. Like it's
take it away, you get it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just you got to enjoy it. You got to take it, because my very first contract, my cruise director, he asked me one day. He goes, "What'd you do today?" I said, "I just sat in my cabin and slept." He said, "What?" I said, "Yeah, I was tired." He said, No. He goes, "You don't understand how this works." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" He said, "You're going to sleep it all away." I said, "Well, I don't understand," because I was only a month in or so I didn't know how the flow was. He goes, "Listen." He goes, "What's going to happen is every time you get time off or you're in a port, you're going to decide, I'm going to take a nap. I'll go out next time, and next time, and next time." He goes, "Then you're going to miss everything." So he's like, "Now you got homework." He goes, "Every port, you need to go out." He goes, "And when I ask you to tell me you went out in port, you did something or went somewhere."
That's nice homework.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, fair enough. So I got used to doing that, even if it was just going out, taking some video shots, taking pictures, or just getting away. Because the thing is, you get on a ship, especially like, it's funny because like we had 5 sea days in a row. After you have 5 sea days in a row, the crew scatters like no tomorrow, because you're cooped up on the ship. Because the hardest days for the crew is when you're at sea. When you're at port is the easy days because the guests are gone. So even if you're working, it's kind of chill, laid back. So every chance we get to leave, we're gone. We're gone. You don't have to ask no questions. I mean, you'll see a group of us going out. They're going, the guests are going, "Oh, wow."
You guys are good. So how long are you in home now? I almost said in port, but
it just depends. Last time when I came home, I was only home 5 weeks. because they needed me back early to another ship, and it was where I wanted to go, so I chose to go. Right now, I told them I wanted to take a little extra time off because now I have an agent, so I don't go through the agencies no more. My agent takes care of everything for me, and I'm thinking about switching companies. So I have to kind of wait a little bit, wait for that slot to open up. So I told him, I was like, well, I came home. It was funny because I came home and the company was contacting me saying, hey, can we fly? We want to fly you to Miami so you can get all the rest of your medicals done. Because each time you go to a different company, you have to have medicals that fit that company. Mm-hmm. So I have to get new medicals done, medical exam. They're very strict about that on ship. Like you have to be 100% clean. You have to be nothing in your background. Like they don't tolerate that. But so he calls me and he says, hey, want to fly you to Miami on Sunday, put you in a hotel for a week and this and that. And I'm like, oh, okay. I'm thinking, oh, okay, great. I was like, okay, so when do I come back? He goes, oh, you don't. He goes, we're going to send you out in a week. I was like, I just got home. I said, I can't do it. I just did a little over 6 months. I said, I need, until at least September, October. And he's like, okay. He goes, I understand. I've been on ships all my life too. He goes, so I understand. He goes, I just was giving you that option. I said, okay. But I'm kind of itching to go back a little bit, depending on where they're going to send me, because I want to go to Europe. If they give me a Europe tour, I'm gone. That's on my list. I can knock off Australia and New Zealand and all that. Like I did all that in one trip. And Alaska was pretty. Alaska is the only place I've ever been that looks exactly like it looks on TV.
Is that right?
I'm talking from everything. I mean, because you'll go to, they will show things about like Fiji and Bora Bora. They show you all the pretty stuff. They don't show you all the poverty and all the other stuff like that, But Alaska is exactly the same.
Just like the postcard.
Like the postcard. It's cold too. That's good. I mean, because when you work on it, that's another thing. When you work on a cruise ship, you got to be very versatile.
Yeah. Very
versatile. I mean, there was nights I would do 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, new stuff. I mean, all kind of different stuff. And that's kind of what sparked the idea. I think I showed Marco the video when I was DJing the 60s night, and his mouth hit the floor. He could not believe it because I was in the Grand Foyer and there was 3 decks. There's people everywhere. People in front of me dancing. I'm playing 60s. I'm videotaping. The captain's actually standing behind me. The captain, he was real cool. And I'm videotaping it. And Marco seen that. He goes, that was 60s? I said, yes. Interesting story. On the cruise ship, they made me change my name.
They thought it was just too hardcore or something?
They said it doesn't feel right with the cruise director saying on stage they don't want to scare the guests. Funny thing was, it's on my laptop. I have a skin on my laptop that says my name, Brightest Day. And they would put together, because they were calling me, we were using DJ JT. All right, whatever. I didn't like it. I'm like, I built a brand. I have over 10,000 Twitter followers. I built a brand on my name. It's you build a brand, you're like, I don't want to steer away from that just for this little time when I'm branding and everything I got says this, says that. But so it was funny because I would have guests come up to me and they would read my laptop and they would go, oh, that's what the JT stands for. I'm like, yeah. And they were like, why don't you just let you use that? That's cool. I said, they think it's going to scare the guests. And they're like, no, that's cool. They're like, well, it's because they probably think, like you said, torture as in TOUCH that way. Yeah, so it's a hell of a career, man. I love it, though. I love people. There's no bigger high for a DJ than seeing people dance, seeing people move to your music. I mean, my New Year's party that we did on the cruise ship, I talked, the cruise director used to be a DJ, and I talked to him and I said, hey, let's do all the DJs at the same time on the pool deck. He said, I didn't think about that. It's a good idea. So we set up, it was three out of 4 of us were out there because they had to have somebody inside. There's 3,000 people on the deck. Oh my God, I was so high. You couldn't drop me. I mean, we didn't stop till 5 a.m.
Where was it? Where were you heading for?
We were heading to the South Pacific Islands. So we're in the middle of the ocean. We did the countdown on the deck. They had the ice sculptures out there. I mean, it was so packed on deck. They had to open the pools so people could get in the pools. Oh, like it was mind blowing.
It's up to you to keep people moving.
And we did. It was funny because when we first started, it started raining. And we're like, what are we going to do? Because we were over a big cover. Like this room is probably as big as what we were over. So it wasn't getting us because it was coming straight down. It was getting the people. They didn't care. Because I tell you what, Australians, they party. As long as you got alcohol and food or alcohol and music, they're good. Rain or shine, whatever. I mean, it was 5 a.m. before I stopped that morning because they stopped at 2:30 on the pool deck, and everybody came to the nightclub, and I went to like 5 a.m. and finally security and everybody came up to me and was like, "No more, man, no more. We need to get these people out of here." And my probably could have went till 7 in the morning. I mean, these people were partying. I mean, the last party I did on the cruise ship, it felt amazing because they wanted me to do it, and I'm the house DJ, and I'm like, okay, you know, I don't have no problem doing crew parties, and they had it in the nightclub, and I come to find out the captain was one of the people that wanted me to do it because he had heard me spin because he'd come to some of the events and stuff like that, and that place was packed. I mean, there was no bigger high for me that night. I was signing off in 2 days to come home, so to have that party, it was like a party to me. It felt like a party for me, you know. But yeah,
I'm ready to book a ticket, man. Let's go.
It's fun, man. It's fun. There's some great places to see. You have to see Alaska. Alaska is very pretty, and a lot of guests kept telling me when I was on my first ship, like, you got to see Alaska, and I was like, I've never heard a bad thing about it. Then I went, and I'm like, okay, yeah, it does. I mean, you see the whales. You're going down. You see dolphins. There's dolphins up there. And the water by the ship, the whales by the ship, the iceberg. I got pictures. I went to the iceberg in Juneau. I got pictures of me with the iceberg and just on top of a mountain and just, I mean, it's amazing.
Now Europe's on your list now.
Europe's always been on my list, but I told them, and that's one thing when I switched companies, I told them, I said, look, I don't know where your ships go. I want to go to Europe. He said, I'll get you there. Okay. I said, because that's on my list. Europe and Asia. Those are on my list. You know, like, I got to go there. But, you know,